The Clockmaker's Death. I shall recount the events that led to my current state of perpetual dread, though I fear my words may be dismissed as the ravings of a man driven mad by the relentless march of time itself. I, who once took pride in my mastery over chronometers and timepieces, now find myself enslaved by their merciless rhythm. It began when Lord Blackwood commissioned me to restore his family's ancient grandfather clock, a towering beast of mahogany and brass that had stood silent for 3 generations. The craftsmanship was exquisite, though peculiar. Markings adorned its face that I had never encountered in all my years of study. The first night after I began my work, as midnight approached, I heard it, the sound of hammering emanating from within the walls of my workshop. Tap, 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 like a ghostly carpenter building some infernal device. I searched but found nothing save the steady tick of the restored mechanism. With each passing night, the hammering grew louder, more insistent. The clock's hands moved with unnatural precision, yet I noticed they never quite struck the hour as they should. Instead, they seemed to count backward from some predetermined moment, though toward what end I dared not contemplate. I discovered, hidden behind the clock's face, a journal fragment dated 1783. It spoke of a debt owed to time, itself a bargain struck between the original clockmaker, something that dwelled in the spaces between seconds. The price of his mechanical mastery was steep indeed. Now I sit here, watching as the hands creep ever closer to their final position. The hammering has become a symphony of doom, and I can see shadows moving within the clock's glass. They are building my coffin, I fear, measuring my moments with each strike of their ethereal tools. The clock, you see, was never meant to tell time, it was meant to collect it. And I, in my hubris, have wound its mechanism one final time, ... comma. The White Noise. When Danny bought the old TV at Mrs. Henderson's estate sale, all he wanted was a vintage piece for his retro gaming setup. The 1985 Zenith console television was a steal at $25. Its wood veneer scratched but intact. The problems started the first night. At exactly 3:33 a.m., the TV clicked on by itself. Not to static, to nothing. Pure white noise, but wrong somehow. The sound wasn't the familiar shh of random interference. It was more like whispers, thousands of them, layered over each other. Danny tried unplugging it. The screen stayed on. Each night, the white noise grew clearer. Words emerged: help us, so cold, can't breathe. The voices belonged to children. Research at the local library revealed the truth. 30 years ago, Mrs. Henderson had run a daycare from her basement. 3 children disappeared that winter. Their bodies were never found. Danny knew he should destroy the TV, but something kept stopping him. Maybe it was curiosity. Maybe it was compassion. Or maybe, as he would later realize, the TV had already chosen him. Last Tuesday, a neighbor reported Danny missing. Police found his apartment empty, except for the Zenith console still humming in the corner. On its screen, barely visible in the white noise, was Danny's face, mouth open in a silent scream, joining the chorus of lost children in their electronic purgatory. The TV was confiscated as evidence. It sits now in a police storage locker, waiting for its next owner. Its white noise growing louder every night at 3:33 a.m. The echo chamber. Sarah never believed in supernatural occurrences until she started working the night shift at WKRX, a small radio station housed in a converted Victorian mansion. The building's history stretched back to the 1880s, but it was what happened in 1954 that would forever haunt its halls. Late one night, while preparing for her midnight broadcast, Sarah noticed something odd about the sound booth's acoustics. Her voice seemed to have an echo, but not the technical kind she was familiar with. It was as if someone was repeating her words a split second after she spoke them, but in a different voice, much older, raspier. The station's archives reveal that in 1954 a radio host named Margaret Wells had disappeared during her final broadcast. The police report noted that listeners had called in reporting strange sounds during her last show-like to voices speaking simultaneously. As Sarah dug deeper, she discovered that Margaret had been investigating a series of local disappearances before she vanished. The last words in her personal journal read, "The station doesn't just broadcast voices, it collects them." That night, while reading the evening news, Sarah heard it again, the echo. But this time, it wasn't just mimicking her words. It was speaking to her. "Join us, Sarah. We've been waiting for a new voice." The microphone picked up both voices, broadcasting them across the quiet town. When the morning crew arrived, they found the booth empty, save for Sarah's headphones and a small notebook. On its last page was a hastily scrawled message. They weren't echoes, they were auditions. To this day, listeners sometimes report hearing multiple voices layered beneath the station's broadcasts, each one distinct, yet speaking in perfect unison.